Chile. Today, we are continuing on the topic public relations implication of the recent strike action embarked upon by the Nigerian Labour Congress. And today, I still have Comrade Yinka Folani. You're welcome, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Comrade Yinka Folani is the National Secretary for the Committee for the Defense of Human Rights in Nigeria.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here once again.
A regular participant on this program. Thanks for your continued support. I also have Ustaz Lawal Jibril, who has also been part of us for so many occasions, and today is also a participant. Glad to have you once again, sir.
It's a pleasure. We are all over in the world. I say good day to all of us, wherever you find us in the world.
Well, I want us to quickly look at strike actions in Nigeria, and why or how can we avoid strike actions? They have genuine reasons to embark on strike, and citizens are also aware that they want to improve the lot of their welfare. So how do we ensure quality engagement of stakeholders and commit government to do great things for the survival of the citizens and industrial growth in Nigeria? Comrade Yinka Folani.
Yes, it's all about when there is will, when there is political will and properly demonstrated and situated, the people will trust their government. And to avert strike action is for the concerned to do what is expected of them at the appropriate time. I'm sure the labor unions will not be comfortable to be going on strike every time if their needs are met, if the working condition is okay, if their remuneration is okay, I mean their take-home is okay, if their rights are not threatened, they won't be interested in going on strike. But a situation whereby the government fails to dialogue, to judge very well with the labor unions as stakeholders, then this is what we'll be facing. It will be strike action because there are three systems to struggle. There's always a consultation, consolidation before the confrontation. If government can try as much as possible to be taking advantage of the first two C's, which is the consultation, the labor union will consult and say, oh, you have not listened to us in this area. It is our right we are demanding for. If the government will consider it necessary to tell them these are the plans we have, and every implementation should be time-bound, that this is when we want to commence, they will come to negotiation table and negotiate appropriately. If such is done, I'm telling you, we avert most of this strike, because when we look at it, either we like it or not, successive governments have always been they have always been coming up with so many jokers that when labor unions are demanding for their rights, they will either find a way of breaking them, of penetrating them to say, oh, we want to have the pro-government faction of the union. You will recall during Obasanjo's administration, it happened when Oshiomhole was the NLC chairman. That was when we had this, that was the advent of TUC, and so they broke them up. And even Joe Ajaero that is there he was once a factional president of a union that was taken out of NLC. All of these have been manipulations of the government to suit government's agenda. It is not in all cases that the agenda of the government will tally with that of the labor unions, but most times the agitations of the labor unions are progressive agitations. They are pro-people agitation. We want a better, for instance, the NMA. We want a better health condition, the ASU. We want a good academic environment for the have-nots to be able to learn and to come out with something. All these are genuine agitations, and if they are demanding for their remuneration, for increase in their salaries, government should always ensure that you come to the round table on time and negotiate reasonably. When you talk about bargaining, negotiation, and all of this, whatever dialogue cannot solve, violence will not be able to solve it, because you will still have to come back to a round table. So if government will always recognize that let us have this round table to avert this, because no matter how much government will shy away and say, come, if you go on strike, it will be no work, no pay, we are going to do this, we are going to do that. But
from their government than welfareism. And I'm thinking fair distribution of whatever gain we have from the fuel subsidy removal is what is primarily fundamental to, on the mind of the people. There are low-hanging fruits that could solve the low-hanging issues or challenges that the fuel subsidy removal has created. And their expectation is that they need one or two few things, actions from government that will be. But far from that, if the labor union will be involved, I am in support of their asking for these low-hanging actions that will take away these, yes. For instance, now, how do we ensure that transportation challenges that have been created with the removal of the fuel subsidy is solved across board? Because all of us are moving around. Quite a number of us at times have to park our car. When you look at the economic situation, look, what does it cost me to buy a fuel to my car? What does it cost me to go to where I'm going? So everybody, one way or another, is affected. So can we look out for, a mass medium transportation system, that's going to
like the Blue Rail that Lagos State
like the Lagos Blue
produced?
Rail, yes. Can we look out for that and see how we can do it? Can we look out for how to get like Abeokuta or Ogun State, for instance, now? Ogun State is not a bus transport system. So the bus rapid that is working in Lagos might not work in Abeokuta because it's not really a bus rapid transport system. But can we have a situation whereby we have some of the taxis that are already plying the road and are given the opportunity to come and convert their engines to CNG, a compressed natural gas system of operation, so that government can say we want to cushion it, we want to subsidize the cost of that, so they can lower the cost of transport for people. We have heard our government saying that they want to bring about what do you call it, motorbikes that are not using fuel, electrically operated motorbikes. I saw in the news saying that Uber introduced one in Kenya, being the first. Can we have that kind of thing that the government has promised? These are things that I feel will solve, immediately solve some of the challenges that we have, because what is happening is that the cost of transportation is taken away, is competing with the money that will bring food to our table. I mean, the kind of money I spend to fuel my car now is competing with the money I will have dropped for my wife to cook a pot of soup. So if you can get something that's going to cushion this for us, it's a good way. But far and more than that, I think the labor movement needs to start thinking of, how to engage government on policy formulation that will bring about, that will cushion the effect on people. For instance, ASU, I'm looking at ASU engaging government on the issue of student loan. It's a policy, and they are a major stakeholder in that regard. Can they sit down and not just want to rubbish the student loan scheme? Can they sit down and tell government that these are the way we feel this could be done, that will achieve the desired result? So policy formulation is a big one. Government is talking about bringing up refinery. There is hope already. We're looking at, what do you call it, December target day. What is Labour doing to engage government and pay a visit to the refinery to ensure that this refinery, or the stage they've got into, what is available, what is on ground, is certain that by December the refinery will start working? I don't see what is wrong in Labour organizing a panel, a team, because all those that are working are members of the Labour Union, for God's sake. The Pengason, the oil and gas, whatever they call them, can they bring extra from their membership and pay a visit to the refinery and ensure that, look, the timetable set by government and actions and steps being taken by government will eventually ensure that the refinery comes up by December. These are the kind of things I feel they should be doing now. It is not just saying we are going on strike, but can you engage government on steps, be involved in managing this thing to success, and not wait till everything is destroyed, everything doesn't work well, before you're now saying you want to go on strike when things are already not working. So policy formulation, let them be involved, strategic engagement with the government to ensure that the promises they want to do, the roadmap to achieving those promises they are involved in it, and helping government. For instance now, government has said we have a challenge now to distribute palliatives. How do we ensure that Nigerians become taxpayers so that government have indices of every Nigerian, they have a database of every Nigerian. They know, look, who is doing what, and what is your income level. Labor unions should be involved in some of these things to ensure that governance becomes easy, not just for government, but even for the people that are being managed. I think they have such a role.
Thank you very much, Stars. Comrade Folani, I see, or I have a vision for the trade unions and the CSO organizations in the country. Is it not high time that we begin to look for ways to have national unity and developmental programs? Of course, the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal has just delivered its judgment, saying that the election that brought out President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was in order. Now, why can't the CSO, the civil society organization, also begin to collaborate, begin to have vision, create visionary approach to engendering a new scheme, a paradigm shift, where opinions, suggestions, and creative solutions can come from CSO and trade unions. It's not all about agitating. I think trade unions should be collaborators, should be co-joiners in national development. Shouldn't that approach be necessary?
Well, thank you very much. Honestly, that I know most of the civil society organizations have been doing, because we have different areas of focus. We have different networks, and I can say with every form of a conviction that civil society we've been engaging the government, especially even in their policy formulation. Some of those things they come up with often suggested by CSOs, just that in some ways they manipulate opinions that are often brought to the table by the civil society organizations. We are not to be fighting and fighting. We engage for development, we engage for sustainable peace, we engage for progress, and we are partners, we are not parallelized. We demand accountability, we demand better performance, good governance. If all of these are looked into, then I'll tell you our partnership will always be for progress.
Thank you very much. Which way forward, Stars?
Well, very simple. Project Nigeria should be a concern of everybody, whatever divide you belong to. Regarding the labor movement, I have always seen it as in pivotal to our development. But the challenge we have over time is that they've been used to certain method of agitation. And the general saying out there is that you cannot give what you don't have. So first and foremost, I want labor movement practitioners to look inward and get a new set of skill, capacity development that will empower them with the, with the skill and competence of being creative, knowing creatively how to engage government, how to engage government creatively. They need such a skill. It's really important. They need to get involved, get a new capacity. There is no problem if they consult an organization like NIPR to help them develop what they call a new PR, a strategic PR approach to the people. Because, to be honest, the reputation of the labor movement, the NLC in particular, in the eyes of the public, is winning down. Gone are those days that when they talk, everybody listen. So those are the kind of strategic engagement I was talking about. They need to consult people all over. They could talk to international organizations for funding, to empower their leadership on how to be creative in their engagement with the people. But Nigeria is a project of us must make sure it works. Like I said, new policy formulations, new thinking, new ideas that will take us a new level of our development. We can't keep on, attacking, bickering, being at each other's throats because we want progress. There are times we need to sit down and both of us look at what are the programs that we have that will give us that new future. It's important.
Thank you very much. It's also occurred to me that the role of labor union is to probably generate support to government. Support in the sense that within the mass of workers, they are also expected to come up with some creative solutions to solving some problems within their own trade union, and then bringing that to a larger society where problems in those sectors cannot be given to government for proper solutions. Perhaps what the labor unions are doing is to sit down and be thinking of increasing salaries and other remunerations, and not also providing creative solutions. So I want to advocate that within the labor union themselves, they must be very, very proactive. They must also be very creative. They must also be ready to join government in ensuring that proper execution of contracts and the like. For example, if trade unions take cognizance of the fact that maybe road construction, there are terms of contracts and not the like, should they not be interested in seeing what is happening? And if there are deviations, can there be some voices?
Yes, in fact, it's one of those areas that
taking cognizance of freedom of information.
Yeah, the labor and civil society often we have a meeting point when it is about labor struggle alone that concerns the members of labor unions alone. Yes, the labor movement may be very, very fast in responding to that. When it comes to that of the general public, when it comes to general benefit for the public, oftentimes the collaboration is expected to be of advanced one with the civil society. But you see, even if the labor unions have the intention of serving as watchdog in government and suggesting solutions, I want to tell you that there are quite number of obnoxious documents that will limit them from going that. And the present arrangement in our country, who will question who? You'll be transferred away from there. But the labor union can be very, very, they have always been serving. Even the politicians admit that they are the landlords. Should anything get manipulated, it is not often done.
And the ultimate success is the growth of the nation. Akin Kudera still here. Anchor, until next week when we come up with a new program, thank you so much for being there for us.